जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना। यमुना तीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा कालाचांजी राधा कालाचांजी श्री राधे। जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा। जय प्रभुपदा। नीताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल। नीताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कालाचांद जी की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Should I begin, Prabhu? Would you give me your permission? To all the senior Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis present here, I prostrate myself at your lotus feet. Thank you for coming in this evening. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanim. Om ajnanatimirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshur unmilitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha shri chaitanya manobhishtam sthapitam yena bhutale swayam rupa kada mahyam dadati. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna. Is the volume okay for everyone? Is everyone at the back able to hear? Okay. It's loud and clear for everyone to the sides as well? Okay, thank you. So, thank you for having us. This is our honor and privilege to be here serving Shri Radha Kalachandji. It almost seems like we are sitting in a royal courtroom for the pleasure of the king and the queen. And the senior ministers have instructed me and given me this order to speak something to give pleasure to the king and queen and the assembled subjects in this royal kingdom. So I really want to thank each one of you for coming. So this is the auspicious month of Kartik. Of all the months in the year, this month is the most awaited month for all Gaudiya Vaishnavas. This month is the manifestation of Srimati Radharani herself. In fact, Srila Rupa Goswami, in his very famous Radhikashtakam, he calls Radharani as Nikhila Samaya Bhartu Kartikasyadi Devi. He says, "O Srimati Radharani, you preside over a month called Kartik, and the whole month becomes permeated by the rays of your glory. O Srimati Radharani, you are so glorious, you are so merciful, that when you touch a month, the month becomes glorious and merciful." So therefore, this month of Kartik is very dear to the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, who consider Radha and Krishna to be their Ishtadev, their worshipable deity. So in this month of Kartik, many auspicious festivals are celebrated. The Govardhan Puja is celebrated in this month. The very famous Sharadiya Ras Leela, where Krishna danced with the gopis, was the auspicious beginning of this month. You also have very wonderful other celebration festivals like Deepavali, which is also cultural, with very strong spiritual roots. It marks the return of Sri Ram back to Ayodhya. But Deepavali also marks the day when Krishna as Damodar was bound by Mother Yashoda's ropes of love. And therefore we see what's this one? Oh, okay. I was not sure, maybe I should sit on this. I thought he's going to tell me, they can't see you when you sit here. Why don't you just sit here? We'll push you around. So in this month, it's called the Damodar month, of course, representing a Damodar form of Vishnu, four-handed form. But it also represents the very beautiful festival of Yashoda, binding Krishna with ropes of love. And this is the only pastime where Krishna gets an exclusive 1 month of attention. You see, all other Leelas, we skim over maybe from sunrise to sunset in Nrsimha, or maybe from sunrise to sunset in Gaura Purnima, or maybe from sunrise to midnight, Janmashtami, or maybe from sunrise to noon in most other festivals. But this Leela is so amazing. Even Krishna would be wondering, I got punished once and you guys can't forget. You're going to frame me on a picture and remind me we love you getting punished. So please note, this is not like a student in a classroom getting punished for over talking or something like that. This is a very sweet, wonderful festival. So in today's discussion, based on Srila Prabhupada's Krishna book, I'm not sure if everyone's able to see. Do you want me to zoom in? Not just into the pastime, but also into the reading? So we can zoom in if possible. And what we will do is, Srila Prabhupada's given 3 pages of explanation to this verse. So we will read like a line or two, and then comment a line or two, and then read a line or two, and in this way spend today's discussion in hearing, reading, and remembering. Combination of everything. Pathanam, Shravanam, and Smaranam. And the Saubhagya of Kirtanam. So, does this sound like a plan? With your approval, could we start? Thank you. Thank you. So, this is the 9th chapter of Krishna book. It is entitled Mother Yashoda Binds Lord Krishna. Actually, Srila Prabhupada loved the Krishna book so much. Srila Prabhupada wrote this Krishna book. It's the summary study, the overview of the 10th canto. But Srila Prabhupada never considered himself to be the author. Many times Srila Prabhupada would have the reading of the Krishna book in his room, and in Vrindavan, just outside his room, in the back end of his room, near the fountain. And when devotees and disciples would read from the Krishna book, it's described in the memories that Srila Prabhupada would sometimes close his eyes and chuckle. And he would say, "Did you hear that? Such a sweet pastime." Sometimes when they would describe the very heroic pastime of Krishna and Balaram fighting demons, Prabhupada would say, "I like it. Did you see that? How Balaram punched Pralambasur?" And the disciples would say, "Prabhupada, aren't you the one who actually wrote this book?" Prabhupada said, "No." And Prabhupada said, when an author writes with a pen, it's the author who is the author, not the pen which is the author. So he said, Krishna used me as a pen to write this book. So I am not the author, Krishna is the author. And whatever Krishna has spoken, I love to hear. Srila Prabhupada was so detached that many times when he gave a Bhagavatam class, he would hear the recording of his own class in his room. And one time, one disciple who was giving him a body massage, they were hearing Prabhupada listen to his own class. And Srila Prabhupada paused and he said, "Did you like that point?" And the disciple said, "Yes, Prabhupada, I loved it." And Prabhupada said, "Me too." And when the disciple was getting a little confused, Prabhupada said, "Krishna is the speaker, I am simply the instrument." That takes great level of devotional absorption to do so much and still be considering that I am simply an instrument. So let's hear what this most wonderful, selfless, compassionate Acharya in modern times has written about the Damodar Leela. And I will just add a piece or two between the readings. Once upon a time, seeing that her maidservant was engaged in different household duties, Mother Yashoda personally took charge of churning butter. And while she churned butter, she sang the childhood pastimes of Krishna and enjoyed thinking of her son. Srila Jiva Goswami says something amazing. In this context, Srila Jiva Goswami says Krishna was like a blue lotus flower. And this blue lotus flower, during the daytime it's closed. And at the night time it opens. So this was early during the daytime, Brahma Muhurta. So the blue lotus petals of Krishna's eyes were closed. Krishna was sleeping in the next room, and Mother Yashoda got off the bed, and Srila Jiva Goswami says she caressed, she embraced, she touched, she patted her child as Krishna, the blue lotus flower of her life, had his petal-like eyelids closed. And Srila Jiva Goswami says this was the day of Deepavali, and everyone wakes up early. Mother Yashoda also woke up early, and on that day, Mother Rohini and Balaram had mounted on a chariot to go on a lunch invitation to the house of Upananda Maharaj. So that's why you see in the Damodar Leela there is no Balaram and there's no Mother Rohini, as if it was all a coincidence. So they were invited on that very day, and they went for the lunch preparation. And the whole of Vrindavan was set for Deepavali, celebrating the festival of Ram's return culturally from Treta Yuga. But at the same time, it's important to note that Govardhan Puja was a generationally cultural traditional festival in Vrindavan even before Krishna lifted the hill. So they were making, and that's the day after Deepavali. So they were making all these celebrations in Vrindavan. And Mother Yashoda, she woke up early in the morning, and it's described, she Chaumam Vasaha Prutu Katitate Bibrati Sutranadham Putra Sneha Snuta Kucha Yugam Jata Kampam Cha Subru Rajwa Karsha Shrama Bhuja Chalad Kankanam Kundalecha. Srimad Bhagavatam describes Mother Yashoda looked so beautiful. She had dressed herself in an orange, saffron colored sari, which represents dedication, of course, till the modern times. And she had a very nice, beautiful, jeweled belt with tinkling bells on her waist. And at the same time, it's described she was decorated with beautiful ornaments. And she started the churning process for Krishna to make butter. Of course, the external reason was there were a lot of complaints about the butter thief in the neighborhood. But the inner heart's desire was she wanted to feed Krishna. Mataji? She wanted to feed Krishna the butter of her heart. She was pouring in her heart's butter into the external butter and feeding Gopal the butter of her heart. Also, it's described here that she sang the childhood pastimes of Krishna and enjoyed thinking of her son. Srila Jiva Goswami comments at this point, saying that she started churning. And as she was churning, from the place where she was churning, she looked into the bedroom and she saw her Gopal sleeping on the bed, facing her. And she was looking at Krishna with eyes brimming with affection. And she started churning to make butter. And at that time, what song was she singing? Srila Jiva Goswami writes that Mother Yashoda was singing that, "Oh Krishna, I had eyes which were like plumes on a peacock feather, but only after you were born, akshan vatam phalamidam na param vidama, my eyes got the actual purpose of their existence. Krishna, I can't imagine how you killed Putana." She's singing in the song. Then she says, "I can't believe even now that you kicked the cart and toppled everything. I still can't believe how the whirlwind carried you. Certainly, Vishnu is very kind." Mother Yashoda prayed, it was Vishnu who killed Putana. It was Vishnu who gave you the strength to kick the cart. It was Vishnu who helped you overcome the whirlwind. If not for Sri Hari, the protector of the world, oh dear darling child, who can protect you? Mother Yashoda continues to churn, Srila Jiva Goswami writes, and she said, "But one thing that you're really good at, my dear child, is singing and dancing. And as you dance, the tinkling of your ankle bells attract my heart. Krishna, I also love," she's churning and still singing with eyes wet, moist with tears, dripping down her cheek, wetting her throat, melting the butter of her heart with the fire of her devotion. Mother Yashoda is praying, "Oh Gopal, I also love when you hold on to the tail of the calves. And when you hold on to the tail, you're on your chest, oh Gopal, in the dust of Braj, holding on to the tail of the calves. And as you hold on to the tail of the calves get scared. And because they're afraid, they start to run. Because if it was a cow, the cow would have a different response. You hold the tail of the cow, and the cow goes, "Mm." That's it. And just looks around. But the calf is an innocent 2-week-old calf. So Mother Yashoda says, as soon as Gopal holds the tail of the calf, he's on his chest and he's holding the tail of the calf. The calf gets scared. The calf starts to run. And now as the calf starts to run, Gopal gets afraid to let go of the tail. So he's having a jolly ride being taken through the soft, sweet, dusty mud of Braj smeared with cow dung and cow urine. And Krishna has a free funfair ride. Srila Jiva Goswami writes, "Oh Krishna, I can't believe how you fit the whole universe in your this small a mouth." She's remembering all the sweetness and she says, "Oh Krishna, I pray to Vishnu, may you never see old age. May you never see death. May you always stay with me and continue getting joy in just arguing with me and other elderly couples in Vraj over no reason." And as Mother Yashoda continues to cry, continues to churn and remember Krishna, Srila Prabhupada writes, the end of her sari was tightly wrapped while she churned. And on account of her intense love for her son, milk automatically dripped from her breasts, which moved as she labored very hard, churning with two hands. The bangles and bracelets on her hands tinkled as they touched each other, and her earrings and breast shook. There were drops of perspiration on her face, and the flower garland which was on her head scattered here and there. Before this beautiful, wonderful sight, Lord Krishna appeared as a child. He felt hungry, and to increase his mother's love, he wanted her to stop churning. He indicated that her first business was to let him drink her milk, and then she could churn butter later. Srila Jiva Goswami comments in this regard that as Mother Yashoda was churning in the neighbor room where Gopal was off to sleep looking at Mother Yashoda, Naham vasami vaikunthe yogi nam hridayeshuva mad bhakta yatra gayanti tatra tisthami Narada. Krishna says, Vishnu says in the Puranas to Narada Muni that I don't live in the hearts of the yogis. I don't live in Vaikuntha. Mad bhaktaha yatra gayanti. Where my pure devotees sing my glories, I am present there. So the pure devotee is Mother Yashoda and she's singing Krishna's glories. Slowly the lotus petal-like eyes have started to open to see the moonbeams of Mother Yashoda's love. And it is described, Krishna came listening to this kirtan. Wherever there's kirtan, Krishna appears. So that next room represents Vaikuntha. And this room is where the devotee is chanting the holy name, Mother Yashoda. So when the devotee chants, the Lord leaves Vaikuntha and comes to be with the devotee. So Krishna came. And this was a perfect kirtan. My Guru Maharaj was explaining in one class, quoting from Sri Hari Suri from Bhakti Rasayan, that when Mother Yashoda was churning, it was the perfect kirtan. Why? Because the tinkling of her ankle bells were the kartal. That was the kartal. And she's singing so sweetly. Yani yani hagitani tad bala charitani cha dadhi nirmantane kale smaranti tanya gayata. Shukdev Goswami says this was like the meeting of three rivers. The river of her love, the river of her singing, and the river of her tears. They're all mixing, remembering Krishna. She's remembering Krishna. She's singing Krishna's name. She's working for Krishna. Also teaching us the principle. You can make your work as your worship if you offer it to Krishna as a sacrifice. Mother Yashoda's churning, and you're in the IT company. Work from home. After COVID, work for home. So we are working like Mother Yashoda is churning. But if we continue to chant the holy name and offer it to Krishna, Krishna will manifest there. So the tinkling of the bangles is like the kartal. And the movement of the rod in the churning process. That's the beat of the mridanga. So with the kartal, the mridanga, the singing and the remembrance, when it's perfect combination for a storm, there comes the source of all storms. The little 3-year-old Gopal. He comes walking. And for him to walk, it's very difficult because he is on the bed on his tummy. And now for him to come down, he has to slide down on his tummy. And he's also scared because the length of his legs and the length of the height of the bed are two different dimensions altogether. So when he's on his belly, he's trying to slide down, but he's also scared, looking down what to do. And he closes his eyes and remembers Vishnu Because Vishnu is Achyuta, he who never falls from his position. So Krishna remembers the Ishtadev that Mother Yashoda taught, and then lands on his feet. And I'm looking at Mother Yashoda, he comes to the scene. Now it's described when Krishna came there, he went and held the rod of Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda started to smile. Mother Yashoda was smiling. Mother Yashoda was smiling. My child, at the age of 3, has developed the intelligence to understand that if I want to stop the churning, I have to hold not the hand, not the pot, not the butter, but the stick. Mother Yashoda is appreciating. Wow, my child's become so intelligent, he knows where the problem is. So if I hold the hand, the churning may not stop. If I hold the pot, it won't stop. If I hold the butter, maybe not. But if I hold the stick, everything will stop. So she starts to smile. And Krishna is teaching the whole world through Mother Yashoda this lesson. We have to do our duty in life till the time we have darshan of Krishna. And once you have darshan of Krishna, then stop the duties of this world and just serve him. So Mother Yashoda is having darshan of Krishna and she still continues the churning in this world. So Krishna says, Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Give up all your duties and surrender unto me. And holding on to, with one lotus foot, climbing onto the lap of Mother Yashoda, on the thigh, he jumps onto the lap. And he's looking at Mother Yashoda. And Mother Yashoda is looking at Gopal. And Srila Jiva Goswami explains, it's like the meeting of the Chataka Pakshi with the rain cloud. Mother Yashoda is like a rain cloud. Her love is the monsoon rains. And Krishna is the hungry, thirsty, ever-loving, ever-affectionate Chataka Pakshi who will not drink anything in this world except the affection of Mother Yashoda. Now let's see what happens next. Mother Yashoda took her child, her son, on her lap and started feeding him her milk. While Krishna was drinking milk and smiling, she was enjoying the beauty of her child's face. Suddenly the milk which was on the stove, change of theme. Suddenly the milk which was on the stove began to boil over. I'm going to pause here. Just creating more suspense. So, it's described. When Mother Yashoda was feeding her milk to Gopal, how happy was Krishna? Krishna is Vishnu. There's no difference. Absolutely the same person. Kshiro danvat pradeshe shushimani vilasat saikate mauktikanam mala kripta sanasta sphatika maninibhair mauktikayir manditangaha shubhrair abhrair adabrair upari virajitair mukta piyusha varshaihi anandina puniya dari nali nagada shankha panir mukundaha. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan has commented on the Vishnu Sahasranam with every name of Vishnu, how it represents Krishna. So same person. So Krishna as Vishnu sleeps on the ocean of milk. He doesn't lack milk in his life. And even in Vrindavan, he has 10 million cows, all put together. Nanda Baba has 1 million, and then there are so many other Gopas, all put together, 10 million cows. And they all give milk. So Krishna has enough milk in Vaikuntha, enough milk in Vrindavan. But what he's looking for is not milk. What he's looking for is the love through that milk. The milk is only like an envelope. He's looking for the letter in that envelope, which is the love of Mother Yashoda, which he doesn't get anywhere. So when Mother Yashoda starts to feed Krishna, it's described, Krishna is tasting the milk of her affection and he breaks into a smile as a baby. It's almost like the lotus flower of his face has got the nectar of Mother Yashoda's love. Now he's getting even more tastier. So Krishna's looking at Mother Yashoda and breaking into a smile of joy, of satisfaction, of fulfillment. And Mother Yashoda, as she looks at Krishna's smile, she starts to smile. And when she starts to smile and get happier, her milk gets sweeter in affection. And when the milk gets sweeter in affection, Krishna tastes it even more and he breaks into a bigger, wider smile. And looking at the wide smile on Gopal's face, Mother Yashoda becomes happy. And when she becomes happy, her milk becomes sweeter. When her milk becomes sweeter, Krishna becomes happy. When Krishna becomes happy, he starts to smile. And this is unending. Because Mother Yashoda's love is unending. Krishna's desire to taste that motherly love is unending. And the milk on the stove is thinking, what about me? The milk on the stove is thinking, what's happening? You milk the cows, the chosen cows of Vrindavan, and that's we. And we are now boiling by the fire of tapasya. You see, when a yogi does tapasya, only with one desire, that may he have darshan of God. Now this milk on the stove is like a yogi who's jumping out of the fire of austerity. He's jumping out of the fire of austerity and he's seeing in front of him, God is giving darshan to another devotee, unlimitedly. But what about me? What about me? Now what's very important here is, this milk starts to request, poetically, symbolically, starts to request the milk in Mother Yashoda's heart. Look, you played your part. You did your service. Please give us also. We are God brothers. Your milk family, I am milk family. If we don't help each other, who will? You are mother's milk, I am also mother's milk. Cow is one of the mother. So if one milk doesn't understand another milk, who will? So the milk on the stove is requesting Mother Yashoda's milk. If you can empower us now, we'll carry the baton in this race ahead. And if this is not possible, then there's no point we being alive. So the milk starts to overboil and fall into the fire, as if telling the milk in Mother Yashoda's heart, if we don't get to enter Krishna's mouth, we are ready to jump into fire and kill ourselves. Now you will think, oh, this is too much poetry. But in the spiritual world, everything is possible. Before the generation of technology, who would have imagined that you could go to an airport and just by the sensor the doors would open? My Guru Maharaj, when he came to America in late 90s, he came to the airport and the sensors detected and the door opened. And he was carrying a Srimad Bhagavatam with him. And he thought to himself, wow, till now I had just read in the Bhagavatam that when you carry Krishna as Vasudev, the doors must open. And he said, it happens even in the present generation. Kamsa's doors have opened as I'm carrying Srimad Bhagavatam. He was so innocent. He really thought that was the reality. Then another brahmachari who was traveling said, Maharaj, there's a sensor there. So even if you don't carry Srimad Bhagavatam, you'll still... So in this way, if somebody would have said 100 years ago that you can walk close to something and the doors would open, we would say, nah, that's just imaginary. So in the spiritual world like that, everything is possible. Everything is conscious. Let's continue. Just to stop the milk from spilling, Mother Yashoda at once put Krishna aside and went to the stove. Left in that state by his mother, Krishna became very angry and his lips and eyes became red in rage. He bit his lips with his teeth and taking a piece of stone, he immediately broke the butter pot. He took butter out of it and with false tears in his eyes, he began to eat the butter in a secluded place. What is amazing? Mother Yashoda has God on her lap, and she puts him aside to go and save milk. And this is exactly what Krishna is thinking. Krishna is thinking, I left the ocean of milk for you, O mother, and you left me for a pot of milk on the stove. This is not fair. This is not fair. Ye yatham mam prapadhyante. I did so much for you, you should reciprocate. And why put me aside? Why put me down? There was a very specific reason. There's a principle Mother Yashoda teaches us. She's teaching us that milk there is a devotee in distress. If you have the fortune of serving God, or you have an opportunity of helping a devotee who's in dire emergency or pain, drop your service to God right now and go and serve the devotee. This is the lesson Mother Yashoda is teaching the whole world. Natat bhakteshu chanyeshu tad bhakta prakrita smrita. Bhagavatam describes, if there's a devotee who needs your help and you say, oh, I have to now chant or I have to do puja, I will take care of you later, then Bhagavatam says that mentality is not first class. On the other hand, if you're doing seva and if a devotee needs help, we pray to Krishna, I will come back. And you keep the thing there, go serve the devotee, welcome him, comfort him, and then ask him, I was in the middle of seva, with your permission, can I continue? This is the proper etiquette. So what did Mother Yashoda do? She put Krishna aside and she ran. So now is an interesting question. Srila Sanatan Goswami is raising, why not take Krishna with you? Now that's a practical thing. Just take Krishna with you and turn off the fire so that the milk doesn't overboil. But he also answers it because Mother Yashoda in split second thought, I don't want to take my baby close to fire. Also, it may slow me down in the process to save that milk. Krishna is mine. I can take care of him anytime. Stay here. And she ran. And she took care of the milk. And Krishna is such a transcendentally jealous lover that he brooks no competitor. If we tell Krishna, Krishna, in my heart, I have my family, I have my relatives, I have my car, I have my pet, I have my home, I have my job, I have my furniture, I have my celebrities, I have my passion, my hobby, and if possible, just make your way through all my attachments and find your spot in my heart. Krishna will say, clean your heart and then call me. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu works a little different. He says, you inviting me, I will come. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my heart is dirty. No problem, I will clean it. Now if you say, I don't want you to come, then Nitai will say, then I will come. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Nityananda Prabhu, don't come to Jagannath Puri every year. Don't come. You stay in Navadvip and preach. And that's the exact opposite instruction of the execution that he performed. Every year Nitai would come. So if you say no, he will think as yes. So if someone says, Krishna, my heart is dirty, please come and clean it, he will say, okay, we'll see. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, okay, you're inviting me, I will come and clean. Dhunoti sarvam hridhi sannivishtaha. And Nitai will say, you don't want me? Oh, I love you, I want to come. I want to clean your heart. But I don't want to clean my heart, but I want it for you. So here, Krishna brooks no competition. So he's thinking, my mother left me down for just a cup of milk. Now you see what I'm going to do to the other pots that you have made. The Lord, who is the creator, maintainer, and destroyer, he thought, instead of maintaining, I will destroy my creation. That Lord who's free from all vices, in Damodar Leela, he develops everything. He who's transcendental, first of all, becomes greedy for his mother's milk. He becomes very greedy. Lust means transcendental desire. So first, he has that desire to drink that milk. Then when Mother Yashoda puts him down, then he becomes angry. Why? Because there's more greed. So he has lust, anger, and greed in this pastime, in the same order. First he gets desirous, then he gets angry, then he gets greedy for more. Srila Prabhupada continues. Krishna, I'll just read the last two lines. Krishna bit his lips with his teeth, and taking a piece of stone, he immediately broke the butter pot. He took butter out of it, and with false tears in his eyes, he began to eat the butter in a secluded place. It is described that when Krishna bit his lips, oh, it was so beautiful. He was trying to get angry, but even his anger was madhuram. Very sweet. You see, when you take sugar and you make a nice personality with that sugar, then the legs of that personality are also sugar. The shoes on the legs of that personality are also sugar. The face, the eyes, the nose, the hair, the clothes, everything made out of sugar is sugar. Because Krishna is Ananda Swarupam. Even his anger, it's only dripping sweetness. So when Krishna bit his red lips with his white teeth, it is the supreme instruction to the whole world that the red lips represent anger, mode of passion, and the white teeth represent peace, mode of goodness. Krishna is teaching the whole world. When there's red mode of passion rising in the form of anger, subdue it with the white peace mode of goodness in one's life. Subdue it. But at the same time, it's described Krishna's teeth were like moons, and they were all getting reddish. Imagine the white moon is very beautiful, but actually the dark moon is even more beautiful. Kala Chand. Talking about different colors of the moon. You're the best. The white moon is beautiful. The black moon is most beautiful. And imagine the white moon having a reddish tinge. Drishtva kumudavantam akhanda mandalam jagau kalam vamadrisham manoharam. When the whitish moon becomes reddish, it looks very beautiful. So it's described Krishna's white teeth, Jiva Goswami writes, Krishna's white teeth were like moons, and they were reflecting the redness of his red lips. And they all look like pink moons. It almost looked like Krishna had pomegranate seeds in his mouth. That's how beautiful he looked in his anger. But he took stone with so much anger, as if to teach his mother a lesson. And he took stone and started breaking one pot after another. But what's amazing is the stone touched the pot, broke the pot, and now the butter started to spill. And now Krishna started thinking, okay, I can't eat that butter, let me try again. And then before he could catch the butter started slipping down, dripping down the wall, and Krishna said, okay, I can't even eat that. All of that butter's gone for a toss, and now Mother Yashoda is going to see who's creating this mess. Okay, I better leave this place and run before my mother finds who the culprit for this event is. And at that time it is described. Krishna said, I don't want to eat butter. Virakti, detachment, renunciation, the greatest quality of a yogi. This butter who wants? I don't want the butter. I like to eat ghee. So Jiva Goswami writes, Krishna started walking. He walked into a very beautiful storeroom, and he was so short that he couldn't even reach the bolt of that room. So he kind of with his elbow tried, and somehow the bolt to the room opened, and Krishna jumped in, had a little box, climbed onto that box, made another pyramid of another box, climbed onto that, and got a pot of ghee. Put his finger inside, and ghee is dripping, and Krishna is decorating his face, his mouth with that ghee. By then he's remembering, Kalosmi, I am time. But I can't help myself because I have very little time. Mother Yashoda is on her return journey. And very soon I will be caught. So it's described. With that pot of ghee, he fled out of that storeroom. But from inside he locked, so that Mother Yashoda doesn't come from there, and jumped out of the window into the backyard. Mother Yashoda, as she turned, she put the pot of milk down, and there were sweat drops on her forehead because of that little exertion. And it's described, Mother Yashoda's hair are like clouds. And these were like beautiful, moist dewdrops on the lotus of her face from the rain caused by the clouds of her hair. Or it's the morning of Deepavali. Everyone's lighting lamps and Mother Yashoda is not having lamps. So the Leela Shakti Yoga Maya lit lamps, shining perspiration lamp drops on the courtyard of her forehead. Mother Yashoda is on a return journey. And at that time, She starts looking, where is Krishna? And there she can see sweet, cute, attractive, unparalleled, unprecedented butter footprints. Krishna is so amazing. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani tu bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. Krishna says, I know past, present and future of everyone. But one thing that he doesn't know is when he steps on butter and walks ahead, he leaves behind butter footprints. Isn't this also a great lesson for all of us? That we want to be like Mother Yashoda. If you really want to find God, walk behind the butter footprints of great souls. Krishna is a Mahajan. So Mother Yashoda is teaching us, walk behind the footprints of great souls and you will find God. Also, what's amazing is, in his previous incarnation, Adau Rama Tapovanadi Gamanam Ritvam Mrigam Kanchanam Vaidehi Haranam Jatayu Maranam Sugriva Sambhashanam Vali Nigrahanam Samudra Taranam Lanka Puri Dahanam Paschad Ravana Kumbha Karana Hananam Etadhi Ramayanam. Ekashloki Ramayan. In Treta Yuga, the Lord jumped over and crossed over. Of course, his devotee Hanuman jumped over and he crossed over an ocean. But in Dwapar Yuga, as Krishna, forget about crossing over an ocean. He couldn't even jump across butter. He tried to jump and poof, he fell. His lotus feet touched the butter. And as he was walking, he was leaving sweet, wonderful imprints and footprints for Mother Yashoda to follow. At that time it is described, Mother Yashoda, Srila Prabhupada. In the meantime, Mother Yashoda returned to the churning place. After setting the overflowing milk pan in order, she saw the broken pot in which the churning yogurt had been kept. Since she could not find her boy, she concluded that the broken pot was his work. Mother Yashoda is teaching us, when you see activities around, understand that they are the work of Krishna. Mother Yashoda saw a broken pot and she knew this was the activity of Krishna. So next time you see around beautiful, wonderful blossoming of lotus flowers, you know that's the creation of Krishna. Next time you see in the morning as you wake up, coo! You hear the cooing of the cuckoo birds, you know it's Krishna. Next time you see the beautiful, wonderful paintbrush canvas of the sky, where Krishna colors the canvas of the sky with the colors of his affectionate emotions, you see, when you see the creation, you remember the Creator. Mother Yashoda saw the broken pots around and she immediately remembered, this must be the activity of my Krishna. She smiled as she thought, the child is very clever. After breaking the pot, he has left this place fearing punishment. Krishna fears punishment. Can you believe that? We'll come to that when the chase begins. I'm excited. After she sought all over, she found her son sitting on a big wooden grinding mortar. Srila Jiva Goswami writes, Mother Yashoda was thinking, where is my child? Where is Krishna? Where did he go? He describes at that time as Mother Yashoda prayed, there was an aerial voice. This is quite amazing. If there can be an aerial Akashvani voice for Devaki on the day of her marriage, why not for Yashoda when she's looking for Krishna? So Srila Jiva Goswami writes, there was an aerial voice. And what did it say? It said, dear mother, we want to give you an update. We want to give you an update. But at the same time, they can speak against the Lord who created them, the aerial voice. So they're speaking in a very cryptic language. They're saying, dear mother, there's a baby bumblebee. There is a baby bumblebee who loves to drink honey. But when it did not get enough honey, it ended up tearing and breaking the lotus petals. And now has gotten even more greedy and has gone to another lotus flower to drink the honey from there. This honeybee Baby honeybee is ever hungry and ever thirsty, oh mother, just for your information. Then Mother Yashoda said, what am I supposed to do now? And the aerial voice said, just like how you switched off the fire on the stove, we will consider you very great if you can switch off the fire lit up in your son's heart, the fire of anger. Please pacify him and put off that fire to save the milk pot of your beautiful, lovely child's face, Gopal. So Mother Yashoda, she followed the butter footprints, and it's described she covered her stick with a cloth. She covered her stick with a cloth and kept behind her back, because if Krishna gets to know there's a stick coming in for his chastisement, he will run away. So she covered it with a cloth, kept it behind, and slowly started walking. And there she saw Krishna is sitting on an overturned wooden grinding motor. Let's see what Prabhupada writes. After she sought all over, she found her son sitting on a big wooden grinding motor which was kept upside down. He was taking butter from a pot which was hanging from a ceiling on a swing, and he was feeding it to the monkeys. He was feeding the monkeys. Sri Hari Suri ji writes in his Bhakti Rasayan commentary that these were the monkeys who helped Ramachandra in Treta Yuga. And they helped Ram get Mother Sita, but Sri Ramachandra did not reciprocate enough according to the monkeys. He should have given them more time. So therefore those monkeys reincarnated in Brajmandal, and Ram came as Shyam. And now Shyam was taking butter with his own hands that he had stolen, because the butter that you get to eat on is not as tasty as the butter that you get by stealing. Right? So Krishna is taking the stolen butter and little by little feeding the monkeys. He's telling the monkeys, you in your past life, you helped me when I was Ram. You know the services that you performed. And talking to these monkeys, Krishna's giving butter, and he's not just giving in the palm, he's actually feeding them in the mouth. And the monkeys are so happy eating, licking that butter off the palm of Gopal. They ask, we want more, we want more. And Krishna's feeding all the monkeys. More and more monkeys, more and more monkeys. And at one point the monkey says, oh Krishna, this butter is so tasty, but my stomach is full. I can't eat anymore. Krishna said, no problem, call your relatives. My home has enough butter, bring everyone. And in no time, the backyard of Nanda Bhavan is like Loi Bazaar. So many monkeys. And instead of taking glasses, they are eating butter. Krishna's holding a butter pot. And he's feeding the monkeys all the butter with his own hands. The monkeys say, enough, enough, it's enough. Our stomachs and bellies are exploding. It's enough. Krishna at that time takes the butter pot and throws it to the ground. And he says, this butter is so useless, even the monkeys don't want it. And Mother Yashoda from behind the pillar is listening. I wake up before you, and I am putting my sweat and tears in making this butter. You break the pot, waste the butter, steal the ghee, feed the monkeys to their fullest, and when they say no, you break my butter pot and you say this butter is useless. Even the monkeys don't want it. And Gopal's completely forgotten. You see the tagline, many times people say, don't think of the past. Don't think of the future. Just stay in the present. Being in the moment. Where do all these motivational speakers get their tagline from? From Damodar Leela. Krishna's sitting on an upside down inverted motor, and he's forgotten the past. And he doesn't care of the future. He's just swinging his legs and feeding the monkeys. And he's just so happy. But when Mother Yashoda starts stepping in, it's described. The monkeys look. And you can never betray the person who feeds you, right? If someone feeds you, you have to be very loyal to that person. So the monkeys have been fed by Gopal. And now the monkeys are facing Gopal. Gopal is facing the monkeys. But behind Gopal is Mother Yashoda, who's seeing everything. There's a saying that the thief has 1,000 eyes, but the owner of wealth has only 2. So Krishna is the owner of wealth. He's holding everything and he's just having 2 eyes. In the Gita, Krishna says, Sarvatokshi Shiromukham. He says, my eyes are everywhere. My face is everywhere. It's facing in all directions. It's only for the Gita. But in Bhagavatam, he doesn't know what's happening behind him. So Mother Yashoda comes slowly behind Krishna and the monkeys are seeing. Every step Mother Yashoda is taking towards Damodar. Damodar is carefree. Mother Yashoda is angry. The monkeys are scared yet grateful. As the scene comes closer and closer, they're zooming into the scene. The monkeys start, they start to scream. And Gopal thinks, what happened? And he looks behind. Madbhayat vati vatoyam surya tapati madbhayat varshatindro dahatyagni mrityuscharati madbhayat. Mrityu namamyaham. We fear death. Death fears Nrsingadev. And in the 3rd canto, Kapila Muni says, Madbhayat vati vatoyam. The breeze blows out of fear of me. Surya tapati madbhaya. The sun gives rays out of fear for me. Varshatindro dahatyagni. Fire burns out of fear for me. Indra gives rain because of fear of me. And that Krishna who says all these tall claims, he looks behind. Rudantam muhur netra yugmam rijantam Karambajayugmena satanka netram muhushwasaka patrirekanka kanta Sita greva damodaram bhakti badam namami sharam sachin anandarupa lasat kundalango kule bhajamana Yashoda. Srila Prabhupada says, she saw Krishna looking this way and that way in fear. Everything fears Krishna and Krishna fears Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda's position is amazing. Amazing. Nobody can love Krishna like Mother Yashoda in Vatsalya Rati. And nobody in history, Nemam Virinchi na bhavo na shrirapyanga samshraya prasadam lebire gopi yattat prapa vimuktidat. And nobody can bind Krishna and make him run for his life like Mother Yashoda. Krishna is looking from end to end and he starts to run. And it's described, Mother Yashoda starts to run, Krishna starts to run, Mother Yashoda starts to run, and Krishna's running, Mother Yashoda's running, Krishna's running, and Krishna's very fast. And Krishna's running crisscross. Srila Jiva Goswami writes, Krishna was calculating real time the fastest route. GPS gets his rerouting from Gopal, from Damodar. He's running and rerouting where to go, fastest route possible. And he's running through places where Mother Yashoda, who's a little older woman, she can't. And Mother Yashoda stops, tucks in her sari, and now starts to run again. It's almost like a lion who's chasing and pauses just to see the distance between the lion and the prey, and then starts again. So Mother Yashoda's running. And Krishna's just looking ahead and running, and he's very fast. But Krishna made one mistake. God who never makes mistakes, huh? Krishna made one mistake. And the mistake was, he looked behind. And that slowed him up. And Mother Yashoda caught him. Srila Jiva Goswami writes, it's like when the chase was on, it was like a big cloud and a small cloud. Both are moving in the sky of Vrindavan. Both are running very fast, but somehow the distance between the two remains the same. Krishna's running. But when he looked back, Mother Yashoda caught him. Let's see what Prabhupada writes. He was conscious of his naughty behavior. After seeing her son so engaged, she silently approached him from behind. Krishna, however, saw her coming towards him with a stick in her hand. He immediately got down from the grinding motor, began to flee in fear. Mother Yashoda chased him in all corners, trying to capture the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's never approached even by the expert meditations of great yogis. In other words, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who's never caught by the yogis and the speculators, was playing just like a little child for such a great devotee as Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda, however, could not easily catch the fast-running child because of her thin waist and heavy body. Still, she tried to follow him as fast as possible. Her hair loosened and the flowers in her hair fell to the ground. Although she was tired, she somehow reached her naughty child and captured him. When he was caught, Krishna was almost on the point of crying. He smeared his hands over his eyes, which were anointed with the black eye cosmetic. The child saw Mother Yashoda's face while she stood over him, and his eyes became restless from fear. As Mother Yashoda was running, the flowers from her hair started to fall, as if telling Mother Yashoda, there's no devotee who has chased God with this intensity. We don't deserve to be on the head of such a devotee. We deserve to fall from this position and fall at your feet. And the flowers were making the way as Mother Yashoda ran. It's described by Srila Jiva Goswami. As soon as Mother Yashoda caught Krishna, Krishna took dust from the floor and started smearing it all over his face. Because he wanted his ghee-smeared limbs to be covered by the dust, so that Mother Yashoda can't find the butter and the ghee on the face. As soon as caught, Mother Yashoda told Krishna, why are you running? Krishna said, why are you coming with a stick? Why are you running with this stick? Mother Yashoda said, because you're a thief. Now what's amazing is, in Mother Yashoda's forefather family, predecessor, there was a great personality by the name Chor Ghosh. That was his name. And Chor means a thief. So when Mother Yashoda said, you are a thief, Krishna said, well, it comes down generations. Your forefather was the thief. He was Chor. Mother Yashoda said, don't change the topic. Who broke the pot? Krishna said, the Lord's desire. Mother Yashoda said, Lord's desire, huh? Okay. And who was feeding the monkeys? Who was giving butter to the monkeys? The ghee to the monkeys? Krishna said, the one who created the monkey is feeding the monkey. What can I say? Mother Yashoda said, oh really? Now tell me the truth. What broke that pot on the way? Krishna said, you really want to hear the truth? Srila Jiva Goswami writes, Krishna told Mother Yashoda, you remember the time when you put me aside? You ran. You ran so fast that your ankle bells, they flung out of your feet. And they hit the pot and the butter came out. I saw it with my own eyes. You were running and it was your ankle bell which hit the pot. And the butter came out. And mother, this is the reason why the monkeys came to our home. They started attacking because there's butter everywhere and the butter's everywhere because the pot's broken and the pot's broken because of your ankle bell, and your ankle bell broke it because you put me down. Okay, fair enough. Mother Yashoda said, so what were you doing with the monkeys? Krishna said, I was trying to stop them from entering the house. You see, I held them in the backyard. You should be grateful. You're still shouting at me. Then Mother Yashoda said, if that's the case, why were you running? You're innocent. Why should you even run? Krishna said, when someone doesn't recognize your innocence and still runs behind you with a stick to beat you, what do you expect the poor 3-year-old child to do? I was running because you were chasing me with a stick for no reason. And this is why I was running. Mother Yashoda said, being with the monkeys. It's almost time, Prabhu. Just a couple of minutes. Yeah. Sorry, Krishna's keeping my words 2 fingers too short. He's not letting me bind him through his words. But we'll try. We'll try like Mother Yashoda in the 2 minutes that we have. So Mother Yashoda said, oh Gopal, being with monkeys, you started to look like a monkey. And you're behaving like a monkey. So Damodar said, really? Then the monkeys live in the forest, so I think I must leave home and go into the forest and live with my family. And that's when Mother Yashoda thought, no, that's scary. Because if I get busy at my work in the kitchen, what if he takes my chastisement serious and he goes into the forest? I will lose him. Mother Yashoda tries binding. We will pause Prabhupada's purport here and I will quickly finish the binding process. Time short, please forgive me. So, Mother Yashoda caught hold of Krishna and it's explained. Srila Jiva Goswami writes, she took a very beautiful ribbon in her hair, a little small one, and she said, I will bind you with the wooden grinding mortar with this little ribbon. And she went around and it was short. She said, okay, that's fine. To err is human. She's not human, but still. She took another hair ribbon, tied it end to end and tried. And she kept on trying. It wasn't happening. And at that time, all the neighborhood gopis came and they started kind of smirking and chuckling because they're the ones who would complain to Mother Yashoda that your son is a thief. And now they came to Mother Yashoda and said, is something happening in your house? Did your son, do something interesting? Mother Yashoda ignored. And she said, just bring me more ropes, churning ropes. And she put them end to end. It wasn't coming to the point of binding Gopal, Damodar completely. Mother Yashoda said, don't blame my son. Even after he's done so much, Mother Yashoda is taking sides with Gopal and telling the neighborhood gopis, don't blame my son. He was just probably born in an inauspicious time. So he doesn't know to distinguish right from wrong. But all of you are older. All of you are so biased against him. It's your fault. And they're trying their best to control their laughter. Mother Yashoda is trying her best from sunrise to sunset. Finally, Krishna thinks, Swamata swinnagatraya vistrasta kabarasraja drishtva parishramam Krishna kripayasit swabandhane. Krishna thought, my mother is sweating, perspiring and not letting go. She's trying so hard. I want to make this announcement, Krishna said. Whenever my devotee has a determined effort to attain me against all odds, then I loudly proclaim, although I am impossible to be attained, I will be bound by that devotee. Mother Yashoda bound Krishna. And we will not continue because he is still bound till this very day. And therefore we have a picture on the altar with Mother Yashoda. This Leela took place in the month of Kartik. Dear devotees, certainly the aerial voice was true. Krishna is a honeybee who loves a lotus called Yashoda, drinking the honey of motherly love. This honeybee is happily bound by the petals of that Damodar rope. We pray to Yashoda Damodar. May this form become the Damodar to be bound in the wooden grinding mortar of our heart with ropes of love for all times to come. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Shri Radha Kalachan ji ki, Gaura Premanande.
His Grace Amarendra Prabhu ki jai.